Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are tearing up the one-size-fits-all rulebook for getting wealthy. We're going to talk about how to build a personalized map to financial success. And believe it or not, it all kicks off with one of the absolute worst moments of a person's life. So listen to this. That is not a line from some Hollywood movie. Nope, that is a real quote from a real night when the author behind this whole plan completely hit rock bottom. Just picture it. His wife is in tears, holding their 1-year-old daughter, and a tow truck is literally lifting their only family car right off the street.
All right, let's get into this. Because that moment, how humiliating, right? In front of all the neighbors? It wasn't just the end of something. It was the spark. It was the catalyst for a totally new way of thinking about how wealth actually gets created.
And here's the part that is just so painful, and I think a lot of us can relate. He was doing everything you're supposed to do, right? Working hard, running his own business, pouring every last cent back into it, and he was still sinking. He was putting on this brave face, this public show of success, while behind closed doors, his family was paying the ultimate price. So this whole crisis just forces this huge question. If he was following all the advice, why on earth wasn't it working? And this leads us straight into what he called the maze of advice. This confusing, contradictory world that maybe you've been lost in too. You know the drill. He hit the books. He was desperate for an answer. But instead of getting clarity, he just got more and more confused. One book screams, "Follow your passion." The very next one says, "No, follow your purpose." Then it's, "Be bold, take huge risks," followed by, "No, be careful, take small, calculated steps." It's enough to make your head spin. And it is so frustrating. And this right here shows you exactly why it's so confusing. Just look at the biggest names out there. Richard Branson says go be an adventurer, but then Jack Welch proves you can totally crush it by climbing the corporate ladder. Oprah, she shines right out front. Mark Zuckerberg, he built an empire from behind a screen. Even two of the richest guys in the world, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, had completely opposite strategies. And right there, that was the big aha moment, the breakthrough. There is no universal map to wealth. It just doesn't exist. And trying to follow someone else's map, well, that's a surefire way to get lost. But you can create your own personal GPS, and it only needs 2 coordinates. First, who you are, and second, where you are right now. So let's start with that first coordinate for your personal map. We've got to figure out who you are. The plan calls this your natural genius, and trust me, it's way simpler than it sounds. Okay, do this with me right now, seriously. Just fold your arms. Got it? Now unfold them and do it the other way, with the opposite arm on top. Feels weird, right? It's awkward. It's unnatural. That's because one way is your natural path of least resistance. See, success isn't about trying to fix all your weaknesses. It's about following the path that feels as easy and natural as folding your arms the right way. And this breaks it down into 4 basic types of genius. So which one are you? Are you a dynamo, the creative one, who's always asking, what's next? Or are you a blaze, the people person who loves to connect and asks, who can I talk to? Maybe you're a tempo, who's amazing at serving others with perfect timing, always asking, when is the right moment? Or are you a steel, the one who loves the details, the systems, and always asks, how does this actually work? So, knowing your genius, your who, that's like having a compass. But what good is a compass if you have no idea where you are on the map? And that brings us to that all-important second coordinate. Okay, let's lock in that second coordinate. We need to know your where. And this is represented by a really cool metaphor, the wealth lighthouse. It's designed to show you exactly where you're standing today. Think about it. You can't just open up Google Maps and say, take me to my destination. First, you gotta tell it where you're starting from. The wealth lighthouse does the exact same thing for your finances. It's like a tower with 9 different floors. And once you figure out which floor you're on, you get total clarity on the one single next step you have to take. No more guessing, So these 9 levels, they're grouped into 3 main stages or prisms. First, you have the foundation prism. This is all about getting your own financial house in order, building that solid, stable base. Then you move up to the enterprise prism, which is about finding your spot in the market and creating real value for other people. And finally, you have the alchemy prism. This is the top tier, where you learn to master global flow and create wealth on a massive scale. All right, now this is where it all comes together. This is the magic moment, when your natural genius, your who, finally connects with your lighthouse level, your where. This is where you find your personal state of flow. You know that feeling, right? Flow is that incredible state where things just click. It's that feeling of moving forward without all the resistance, where progress feels easy and natural. And it happens when you finally stop fighting against your own nature, and you stop taking advice that's meant for someone on a totally different level. You just apply your genius to the specific next step that your level requires. That's it. And this is the whole philosophy behind it all. You know, we're so often taught to think of wealth as this zero-sum game. Like, for me to get a bigger piece of the pie, your piece has to get smaller. But when you're in your flow, when you're creating real value, it's not like that at all. You become like a candle that can light thousands of other candles without ever making your own flame any dimmer. So what's the big takeaway here? What does this all mean for you? It means it's time to stop getting lost in that maze of confusing generic advice. The key, the real secret, is to align what you do with who you are and where you are. When your actions line up with your natural genius and your current financial reality, you finally find your path of least resistance to success. And that's the question I really want to leave you with. Just think about the path you're on right now, today. Are you actually playing to your unique strengths, finding that flow? Or are you fighting against your own nature, trying to awkwardly fold your arms the wrong way, and maybe, just maybe, heading for a rock-bottom moment of your own?